You should always use option fields instead of enum, unless, hey, I'm Eric, and unless what? Well, unless you're willing to go all the way. And what do I mean by that? I mean that if you add an enum, if you add an extensible enum to your software, you have to make sure that your enum actually can be extended. And that is way more complicated than it sounds. And I think the best way to illustrate this is try to extend an enum. Not a very special enum. I think I will try to extend the sales line type enum. So here is my Visual Studio Code. So when we do this, we need to create an enum extension. I think I have so much junk in this database, so we'll just give it some other number here. SL type. So we want to extend the sales line type. And we just want to add a value. Maybe we want to add functionality to be able to sell a job. How about that? So we will give this number and we call it job. And the only thing an enum really needs is a caption. So now we're good. So let's deploy this. An alternative title to this video could probably be something like, "Come, join me in the rabbit hole." Maybe I'll use that for another video. I forget I ever said anything about it. So here is now we have extended the type, right? This is the sales line type. So let's add a new line. But we're not able to select job here. That is weird. Okay, let's just, for our sanity's sake, let's try to extend something else. How about general journal account type? That's probably also a good one. We got deal account, customer, and a bank. Job could even be an option here if we are. So let's try this. So let's stop the debugger and let's deploy this again. Then we probably need to get ourselves into a general journal. And we extended the enum. So why didn't this work on the sales line? What is going on? Let's see if we can figure that out. So perhaps the first thing we need to look at is see this looks like the type field, right? But let's just add to our thing here. Maybe I need to make this bigger. Yeah. If you yelled at me, I make it bigger. So we could just easily do a page extension here. Also, SL line extends sales order subform. Now we'll just go here and hit F12. So let's take a look at this page, which I'm pretty sure this is the one we're looking at. We can open the page inspector, Control Alt F1. If you haven't seen the video on shortcut keys, that's probably because you haven't been subscribed. I suggest subscription. Your life will be better, and it's really important for me when Microsoft looks at stuff. But if you are a subscriber, thank you, and you've probably seen the video about 38 keyboard shortcuts. Control Alt F1 was one of them to open the page inspector. So we'll just make sure that we're actually inspecting this section. And this is the sales order subform, page 46. That's the one we have here. So let's take a look and see what we have. We have the type field. That's the one we want. Application area advanced. Okay. So that's probably not the one we're seeing. You see, there's one more here. Filtered type field. Type as text. And we can see that then you can enter any text in the description field, such as a message to a customer, which I'm pretty sure is what we're seeing here. So this is not the type field, even though it looks like the type field. This is a dirty hack from Microsoft to enable a option field where you can type in. So what is going on? Well, we got type as text. So what is type as text? That's just a variable. So what is happening? So we have a lookup page ID that lookups into something called option lookup list that is looking into a temporary table called option lookup buffer. Okay, so on validate, stuff happens here that looks in the temp option lookup buffer to set the current type, and we validate type in here. So this is like a wrapper field for the type. But let's dive into what happens if we can find. Let's search for open page. Or maybe it's not open page. Maybe it's. Let's see if we can see something with options anywhere in this. We have this. This is the filtered. Oh, hang on. Option. On init, temp option lookup buffer dot fill lookup buffer. Option lookup type sales. We hit F12 on that one, and then we can see that. So we know that we're passing sales, lookup type sales. So fill buffer internal sales line field number type. That's our friend. Sales line field number and lookup type, that is sales. So let's go into this guy. So this one uses a record ref. See, it grabs the field. So here's the field number, which was passed here. So that's the field number that was passed for the field number for the type field. So we get field ref is the type field. And then we got option index equals 0 to the count of enums minus 1. And then we set the value to option index plus 1. So why didn't we just start with 1 and not minus 1 and then without this one? This looks like somebody who's brought up on zero indexed. Anyway, no, sorry, that was a sidetrack. Okay, so I think we need a breakpoint. I feel that we need a breakpoint somewhere here, so we can take a look at. Let's put a breakpoint here on 207 and see what happens. Just gonna keep some of these closed so I'm not selecting the wrong one suddenly. Okay, we already got the breakpoint. There we go. So what is field ref now? Field ref is probably blank, which that's a valid option. Let's go through this. We can just hit a 5. Can we see what field ref is again? Now field ref is GL account. We hit a 5. Now field ref is item. We hit a 5. Field ref is resource. We hit a 5. Field ref is fixed assets. We hit a 5. Field ref is charge item. We hit a 5. Field ref is job. Excellent. We got our value here. But didn't it just jump out? Include option. Okay, I think we need to do that again. So what is include option here? So now we probably need on before include option. Now we need to tell here that we need to subscribe to on lookup type. What do we have? Regref, resolve, lookup type, option type. So we need to tell that if we are in sales, then our value is okay. Okay, we can. I think we can do this. So on before include options in what? In table 16 option lookup buffer. So let's ignore this one for a second and then do a T event soup. And we want to subscribe to a table and we want to subscribe to a database, and it was called option. What was the name? Option lookup buffer. Let's see if we can find the event. We cannot. Option type, object type. Am I breaking stuff left, right, and center now? No, I'm not. Oh, hang on. Just yell at the screen, please, folks. I'm typing a. Just because I'm in this one, I'm just putting objects left, right, and center. So let's create a code unit for our subscribers. Wow. Wow. See, this is much better. Boom. And now I completely forgot the event that we were supposed to look at. Something with, what was it called? It was called something in include option. It was called on before on before include option. True. And what? So I usually, every time I do a subscriber, I name the procedure the same as the event, just to. So we got a lookup type, we got an option, we got an option lookup, we got a regref, we got a handle, and we got a result. So let's see how this actually plays out. Is handle exit result. If option type, so if lookup type is lookup type sales, I think that's the first one we need to do. So we can do something like, let's just copy all this code here and put that in here. So if lookup type of lookup type sales, not sales, no, because that's just an option. That would be too easy. Hey, always use options. So, you see that's passed as an integer here. So we need to go and look up what is the integer value of sales. That's 0. Okay, we can do this. If this is 0, and if option type is, let's see what option type is actually passed as that's an integer. So if option type is sales line, didn't we get option type? Hang on, didn't we get that, or did I miss that when I passed the? Okay, so let's actually do something else here. Let's just message, and let's put a breakpoint and see what we get in here. Because otherwise this is I think we got the breakpoint, we got a breakpoint, and now you see sometimes you have to open it twice to actually get into it. I think I'm just going to hit a 5. We're here. Okay, so lookup type is 0. So if lookup type equals 0, and option equals 0, and regref is, so we can do this. So we can say regref dot number equals 37. So that's the sales line. Then, so option should of course not be 0, because that's so if option is, what did we actually call our option? 50,135. If that's the case, then begin handle equal true and result equal true. Let's see if this has any chance of working. Oh, we still have a breakpoint somewhere. Let's actually just get rid of breakpoints. There we go. So what can we do now? Now we can do job. So we're 20 minutes into the video and we got an option added. All due to the fact that this field should be, you should be able to type in it, so it cannot be a lookup, and then you saw the hoops. So now we can create a job. But then now that was the big hurdles. So now we can actually go up and start being a bit constructive again, instead of all this craziness here. So we have this in order to make this visible. But now we need to make sure that when we say job here, we have nothing to look up here, right? That's no good. We need to be able to do a lookup. So the way we do that is actually create a table extension to the extend sales line, no semicolon, and we go into fields, and then we say modify, and the field we want to modify, that is not the type field, because we kind of modified the type field just by extending the enum up here. So now we want to modify the number field. And if we go in and we take a look at the number field, we can see that it has a table relation, a long, very poorly formatted one here, with crazy spaces and I don't know. But nonetheless, even though this looks very weird, what we can do is that we can just do table relation equal, and then we have to start with if. So we can say if type equal const job, and then we go outside the parentheses. So this if has like a C style parenthesis on it. So then we're into the then part. There's no then, but that's now. So now we can say job dot number semicolon, and that's it. Let's try this thing. So we go down here again. I select job. That's excellent. And now I can do a lookup on jobs. So I can select a job. I get a shipment date message. That's probably fine. I don't get any description. So now we need to look again. Have to go look at what's actually happening. So let's look at the number field. And then we need to decide how to. So there's validate code here. And it looks like nothing really happened, nothing bad, but potentially stuff could happen here. So we might need to tell them that on before validate number, that if type is job, then don't do this. I think at this point we can get away with actually doing our own trigger here and say on. See, then we probably want to go, if we want to do the subscriber thing, then we can do an event subscriber up here, and we want to subscribe to table, and we want to subscribe to wow, man, I'm typing bad tonight. Database sales line, and what did we go on before validate number? Was the one on before validate number? Get rid of this. Skip. True. So sales line on for validated number. And what do we have? Parameters, current number is handle, sales line, X sales line. I don't think we need all of those. And then we can say that if sales line dot type equals sales line dot type colon job, then handle is handled equal true. So up here is handled and down here is handled. So yeah, just roll with it. So now we can go down here on. So interesting is on after validated, on before validated. I think we're just gonna, let's go with on after. Now we can then do do our own thing here. So we can say, okay, job.get. No, we can't. We have to, because this will run for everything. So we still need to say that if type equal type colon job, then we do all this good stuff in here. So job get from number, and then we can do validate. We should probably do rec in front of all these, but validate description with job dot description. That's a text 100. This is also a text 100. I think we're golden here. So that is pretty good. So let's try that. Let's try that. So we can do another job line here, and we select a job, and we got a description. So now we're on the right way. We're on our way now to actually being able to build a line. The problem is with all of this is that there are tons of hoops. So we're hitting the 30 minutes timestamp soon. So the problem here is that when we start to look at this, so okay, we got a type, so we can find all references. Maybe we can't. No, we cannot do that in a. I could do that in Prism probably. No, we can search for it here. We can just search for type. There's tons of stuff going on. Like here's a case statement. So case something item fixed as a charge item, but not necessarily an event here that we can potentially use, or maybe there is one, or maybe there aren't one. So if type is item, then allow item charge assignment equal true, else false. But in reality, something like this will have to be a case. So you can do else an event in order. So if this were if this were extensible friendly, then you would have to make sure that there's so many events in here. If this should be possible. And now I'm going back to my unless at the beginning of the video and saying that, you know, unless you're willing to, whenever you're using the extensible enum in your code, unless you're prepared to make it extensible friendly, don't. Use an option, or perhaps say extensible no on the enum if your code is not ready to handle that. Hey, there is potentially a different type here, and it's stuff that an else statement is enough to throw off that, because whomever coded this, no, if it's an item, then something, otherwise something else, right? but that might not be true. There are a bunch of scenarios. So here, this is a good spot to show how a good example of how to do it. So here we got a case to type. We got all the types and copy from GL, copy from standard text, from item, and so on. And then we got an event. So in this case, there's no else statement, but there is an event that is triggered in the same spot. So of course you need to make sure that when you're subscribing to an event like this, that you only react due to types. You have to add your own case statement, but you have to add that anyway. But then right after this, so right after the great example, we got something that potentially will break this again, because now we're saying that if type is different from blank, then hey, go ahead and check that we have all the posting groups and stuff like that. But maybe we don't need posting groups on this line. So welcome to the rabbit hole. This is why people end up modifying standard objects. And enum extension, enums was supposed to help with this, but the problem is that the layout of the standard BC code is still not designed with this in mind. And there's a long way to go. I know I've probably chosen one of the most complicated cases because we haven't even ventured into the posting routine or anything like that, but it's complicated. Welcome to the rabbit hole. If you want to see something else, go for this video, because the almighty YouTube algorithm has decided this one is good for you. And let me know in the comments below if you have actually ventured down into the rabbit hole and come out on the other side for something like that. I would love to hear a great example. Anyway, see you in the next video. Take care. Bye.